in all honesty, I didn't bond with my baby until he was probably 8 months old.
Yeah.
That's how long that took for me, that's the hardest part now as I look back at it and I just go, what a waste of 8 months of this, what's supposed to be a beautiful time. Everyone was talking about the newborn bubble and I was like, off with your newborn bubble. I don't have one. I don't know what it is. What are people talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't bond with him. Did I love him? Absolutely, but it's not what I thought it was going to be.
It's not the unicorns and rainbows. Hello everyone and welcome back to No Place Like Home. I'm your host Jess. We're here with Larissa.
Hello.
And we have the wonderful Jaz Flowers back with us today.
Hiya.
So Jaz, I don't know why I'm laughing because it's actually the opposite of funny, but it's like if you don't laugh, you cry.
Cry, yeah.
So where we landed last episode, in case anyone hasn't listened to it,
But go back and listen to it.
you are in a hospital bed, in surgery rather. You've hemorrhaged. You don't know where your baby is. You don't know what's going on. You're freezing cold, lying in a bed, wondering if you're dying.
Yep, that's fairly accurate.
Yeah. What happened after that?
I was fine. Turns out I was okay.
So you're okay, but are
okay.
you? Well, I mean, what is the measure of okay? Because
well, comparatively to where I was, I
Yeah.
would say that I had my surgery. Both of them were successful, and I got taken back to recovery, and I had to stay there. It felt like I was in there for 10 years. Like I was half asleep. Let's be honest. I hadn't slept since Sunday, and it was now 9 p.m. on Tuesday night.
Oh my God.
I had my little nap when I had my epidural, so that was good.
Yay.
But yeah, so I was pretty in and out of it, and then I was wheeled somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in the hospital, and I got to meet my baby.
Oh.
So he'd come out of the. Turns out after he had gone to, I don't know, was he in a nursery? I don't know. I don't know where they took him.
I just find it extraordinary that no one was communicating with you that whole time.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind.
And the only I just have to sit with the maybe they were and I don't remember. That's that, because if no one was actually talking to me that entire time, maybe they were talking to my husband. I don't know, but I try and find solace in the fact that maybe it wasn't that bad and maybe I just can't remember, or maybe I've blocked it out. I don't know, because if I think about all the horrible things, I wouldn't get up each day. So I have to try and focus on the positive things that I was okay, my son was okay. He was in the little, what is it called? Inside the thing.
Neonatal crib.
Yeah, it's like a little plastic cocoon thing.
Yeah.
He was just lying in there chilling. And he was okay and I was okay. In medically speaking, I suppose.
You were alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember loads of people saying, Jaz, the love you're going to feel for this baby is just going to be the most overwhelming, and it just wasn't for me.
It's so loaded, isn't it?
Yeah, I was like, where is it? Like, I made that and he's cool. That's good. Now
you were in
what?
shock.
Oh, completely. 100%.
Like, you can't feel overwhelming love when you've just been through what you've been through.
Yeah, and the next, I was obviously in a hospital bed that night. Rhodey wasn't in there with me that night. I don't think. So that's obviously midwives and nursing staff and stuff must have been looking after him overnight because I didn't feed.
Okay, I was going to ask that. Did they bring him in for a feed at all?
No.
Okay.
No. I fed. I attempted to breastfeed after when I came out of surgery. I attempted to breastfeed then, but obviously having hemorrhaged as much as I did, I had no milk supply, and I didn't get one either ever.
Okay.
Just
Right.
didn't get one. So I was trying to feed all the time. So the first night I was just, I don't know, full of drugs and sleeping.
Yeah.
And then the next day, again, I know I had visitors. I know my mum came and visited, which I don't remember. My husband's parents, so my parents-in-law, they came. I don't remember that either.
My God, Jazz, the trauma that your body was very clearly going through at that time was extraordinary.
I've never really thought about it. Not like that. I haven't thought of why I didn't remember. I just thought I didn't, because I don't know whether it was blood loss or whether trauma. Sure, that makes far more sense. But no, I don't really remember much of that. And then it was cluster feed. Just cluster feed. But I couldn't cluster feed because I had no milk supply. So I'm trying to feed my baby, but my baby's screaming because he's not getting anything because I don't have anything to feed him.
No colostrum. Nothing.
I had colostrum. I saved up. Thank God I did. I got a heap. No, I didn't. I had a supply of colostrum, which they obviously used the first night.
Right.
And then obviously my body trying to recover after what it went through, and him screaming for literally 3 days because I was still in hospital, because he wasn't getting fed enough and all of the colostrum was gone, and I'm trying to feed and I couldn't. And I remember, I was a broken unit by this point, but this beautiful, beautiful nurse.
There's
who was
always
on,
one, isn't there?
always. And she came in and it was like 3 a.m. and Bubba was screaming again. And she went, "Sweetheart, do you know that your milk supply might not come in for weeks? How much blood you lost was like quite a large amount, and, you know, you may not be able to feed whilst you're in here. Have you thought about formula?" And I went, "No, I hadn't." She goes, "Would you like me to organise this?"
So up
for
until
you?
that point, no one had said anything about bottle feeding.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. Isn't that? I don't know. I would assume no. I would assume no, because otherwise I wouldn't have been so affected.
Yeah, your
positively
reaction
affected by this comment saying to me, "Just feed him a bottle, babe."
Yeah.
And I fed him a bottle, and he was a different baby, and has been ever since.
Oh my God.
From that moment, he has been a completely, sounds dumb, but completely perfect
Doesn't sound
baby.
dumb at all.
Yeah, I've got a pretend baby. He's not real. Like he's that beautiful and that well behaved, and he's easy. Baby's easy. I got a really, really good one. So
Well, I mean, you needed a good one because your postpartum sounds like it was absolutely horrific.
yeah,
Like nightmare material.
yeah.
Well, that immediately after birth would just sounds horrendous. So how long were you in the hospital for?
5 days.
5 days, that's all.
I thought that was good.
All of that.
Yeah.
I think, don't we leave, like, don't they kick you out after you've had them,
I mean,
1 or 2 days?
If you have a cesarean, it's 5. But
Yeah.
I mean, were you ready? Were you ready to go home?
Yeah.
Probably a bit of
Medically
both.
speaking, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I wanted to go.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
done. I
Yeah.
couldn't,
At that
I couldn't
stage,
see. 'Cause
yeah,
again,
yeah.
I couldn't walk either. So because of where the tear was and how significant it was, like everyone's like, "Oh, did you do laps of the hospital or whatever?" I'm like, I couldn't make it to the bathroom, so I won't be doing laps around anything, thanks. So I was wheeled out in a wheelchair with Bubba when I left because I couldn't walk, but
So did you have to do the poo before you left?
couldn't.
Oh,
I think I lied. I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of
Yeah.
here. I am in jail. I'm leaving.
yeah.
Because no, I didn't.
Wow.
Nah. Oh, and wasn't that an affair? Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
That is you.
That's a whole other episode.
You can't prepare someone for taking a poo after that experience. That's not okay. Yuck.
Oh, no.
So good. But yes, I was in hospital for 5 days, I think, and I was very happy to go home. I needed to go. I couldn't be like, it's just that I don't ever want to walk back into a hospital again. That place holds really yucky, awful memories for me. I don't want to, like, I don't have barely any, none nice memories about, like, I know birth isn't necessarily nice, but you hear people talking about it, that it was a euphoric experience. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's all not, no.
That was not your experience.
Definitely not my experience. So I don't like hospitals, and I was very happy to leave. Should I have left? I don't know. Did I need to stay there longer? I don't know. I just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So the drive home, the drive home can be an interesting thing for the best of people, but
I was happy. I had a smile on my face.
yeah, okay.
Oh, good. Was it painful, like going over bumps and stuff?
Can't remember.
No. Okay. Yeah. Did they send you home with a bucket load of painkillers and whatnot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I had loads and loads and loads of drugs for a while.
So
Silver linings.
Yes, sure.
yeah, but so by that stage you were like, well, I'm not breastfeeding. Did they?
No, I still tried to feed at
Okay.
home. We kept bottle feeding, and I kept trying to breastfeed, and my milk never came in.
It just never came in.
No, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't have. I'm not saying that I can't breastfeed. I used to have inverted nipples when I was younger, and I had surgery to
Oh,
pop them
right.
out.
Yeah.
And then I had. Is this too much information? I'm
No,
so sorry, everyone.
no,
Welcome to the intimate details of my breasts. But I have nipple bars. I had piercings put in,
Ah, yeah.
and I think my milk ducts may have been far more. They were stretched. My milk ducts were stretched when I had my corrective surgery, so they were stretched then. So I don't know how much of me not being able to breastfeed was because I didn't have a milk supply, or because it wouldn't come out, or I mean, colostrum came out, so I figured that it would. I'm not quite sure, but I think because of how traumatized I was from the entire experience, I just went, I can't add this to the list.
No.
I can't try and breastfeed every 2 to 4 hours when I can't walk yet.
Yeah.
Like, it just everything. It was just one thing after another. It was long labour, great. Then induced, great. Episiotomy, great. Tore from arsehole to breakfast, great. The
Hemorrhage.
Great.
Retained placenta.
Yeah, and the list just keeps on going. And then when milk didn't come in, I was like, no, that's it.
That's one thing that you can control, right? That's one thing you can make a choice
100%. I just went, this is my choice, and I can't. Don't get me wrong. I messaged every single friend that I have ever had a child, and I'm messaging them going, is it okay? Is it like, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I doing the right? Like, I was not well. And I got some beautiful messages back from some beautiful people saying, fed is best, breast is best, fed is best, whatever. Do what you need. Do what you need to do. And if I still solemnly swear, if I tried to breastfeed, I would have possibly ended up in some psychiatric care, because I was not at all coping. And that was one thing that I could gain control over again.
Yeah.
What was your follow-up care like with everything that had transpired?
Well,
I can tell this is going somewhere.
That's good. No, we were given a list of numbers to call and things to, if you wanted to have a debrief for people to come and check stitches and stuff like that. Unfortunately, at one point I was directed to someone who doesn't exist. The number just didn't connect to anyone, so that was good.
Oh.
They didn't work for the hospital anymore, so that was helpful.
Handy.
Yeah. But I did eventually, someone came to my house and checked my stitches and to make sure that I was okay. I sourced out my own counsellor to come to my house and have a chat. My midwife came to my house and had a chat.
Yeah.
But as I said, like, my friends came to visit and they said, you weren't there. Like, the lights were on, but no one was home.
Yeah.
Like, you were I was a ghost. They said you look like a vampire. That's how pale you were. You just weren't right. Like I had iron transfusions and blood transfusions and all sorts of stuff after post birth. But yeah, I wasn't well at home when people were coming to visit and they're like, who is she? Like, hey, Flowers, wake up. Like what's, and
Wow.
but, I definitely had a counsellor come and have a chat to me. I had a debrief with my midwife, and then because I still, in all honesty, I didn't bond with my baby until he was probably 8 months old.
Yeah.
That's how long that took for me, that's the hardest part now as I look back at it and I just go, what a waste of 8 months of this, what's supposed to be a beautiful time. Everyone was talking about the newborn bubble and I was like, off with your newborn bubble. I don't have one. I don't know what it is. What are people talking about?
Yeah.
I didn't bond with him. Did I love him? Absolutely, but it's not what I thought it was going to be.
And rainbows.
And then somewhere in there I had a double prolapse too. Let's throw that in.
Oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
Yep. So that was good too, just to add more salt to the wounds.
How did that come about?
I had him in the November and I prolapsed in February. Again, I had so many people look at my bits. Like I had pelvic floor specialists, I had surgeons and doctors and bits and pieces all poking around in there, which, again, traumatizing.
Yes.
Stop poking around in there.
So invasive.
Yeah. And some of the checkups and things that I had going up my backside and balloons getting blown up in there and stuff to check that.
Oh, wow.
I wish I had the exact names of these things because at the moment it sounds like a circus show and it isn't.
No.
But I had a heap of medical treatments to figure out why I was incontinent because I was I had incontinence of wheeze and poos. It was lovely. It was good.
Oh, no.
And that lasted, well, still to this very day, 18 months
So
later.
you've still got fecal incontinence to this day?
I have fecal urgency and at times fecal leakage. At times, yeah.
Oh, my
Did
God.
did that happen? So that didn't happen straight after
No,
birth?
not straight away. That happened I still want to know if I did something wrong. Because I don't know if because I obviously wasn't allowed to train or I was a fit person before I had a baby, obviously being a dance teacher or whatever. But of course I couldn't walk for 2 months.
Yeah.
Not properly anyway.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't sit down. I couldn't roll over. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't the tear because of where it was that bad that I was deemed bloody useless for months. So I wasn't training. I wasn't doing anything. I got out and I walked a fair bit, which I loved. Walking was my saviour when I could, like just being outside.
Yeah.
That was really lovely. But, of course, that was when all of the incontinence was happening, was when I was out walking and doing things all the time. So that's just adding
Another layer.
another layer.
Trauma.
Yeah.
Were you given any – so once that happened, were you given any advice or
Keep doing your pelvic floor exercises. That's all I've been told. I've had surgeons and people have a look and they go, look, I can fix this. I can give you surgery to fix this. But then there's the flip side of, do you want to have surgery for something like this when you're so young? Young, I'm 36, but still young for surgery like that, because obviously you lose so much collagen and elasticity as you get older. And they said in 10 years' time we might have to go back in and put in a few more stitches and bits and pieces. So I've just kind of, I think I got so sick and tired of people looking at me and poking me and telling me this and telling me that. And I've had some, don't get me wrong, it sounds like the entire thing has been doom and gloom. Most of it has been. But there has been glimpses of beautiful people in my life that have tried to help me and who have been extremely helpful and have listened to what I've said. And like I got myself I have a beautiful psychologist, and I love her. I love her, and she just, listens and says, how you're feeling is warranted, and and so I have had some beautiful people along the way help me along this
epic,
good choice of words, epic journey, and I'm very grateful for some of the information that I've been given. It's just a pity there hasn't been more positives, I suppose.
And how's your mental health now? Because, I mean, you present as confident, bubbly, charismatic, effervescent is a word I would use to describe you.
Listen to all of those words. So many good words.
You can put that in your TikTok bio if you want to.
Okay, great. My honest answer, I'm very honest about my mental health, and it is up, it is down, it is up, it is down, it is up,
it's a roller
it is
coaster.
down. Yep, all the time. And when any of my followers will know that I talk about being on the positive brain train, get on it. Get to a station and get on the positive brain train as soon as you can, because as soon as you were driving that train, the life was different for me when I chose to look at the positive things. You can always flip something. There is always a positive to every negative. Just look at the other side. You have to look at the other side, because if I decided to sit and think about everything awful that has happened to me in the past 18 months, I wouldn't get out of bed. It would be that simple. So you go, well, I do have a beautiful child, and just to piss everyone off, my child has slept through the night since he was 5 weeks old, and I have to think of all of these positive, amazing things in my life. And when I'm on that brain train, I'm great.
Yeah.
My mental health is great.
But when you fall off the train?
When I fall off the train, sometimes I don't get back on it for a while, and it's rough, and I don't care.
It can be
for
hard
it
to
very
get
much.
back on, can't it?
100%, especially because of the woman that I used to be.
Yeah.
Never struggled with my mental health ever. I was just, you could ask anyone that I was just the life of the party always, and always happy and bubbly and having a laugh, and I hope she's still in there, because she comes out every now and then, but I miss her. I wish she was there all the time, but she isn't.
Do you feel like that's harder do you feel like you have to put that on a bit now because she's harder to find?
Depends who I'm around.
Yeah.
I was going to say I try not to sugarcoat things. I try to be as honest as I can be. And when I'm having a shit day, I'll tell people I'm having a shit day. Yeah. Or like my mum chats that I have on Instagram all the time, or whether I'm just getting ready, like popping a face on or whatever, and I tell people, oh, I'm having a shit day or whatever. Yeah. I'm really open and honest about it. How deep that trauma goes and how deep my sadness is at times. It's not that I don't tell people, I suppose. I just don't talk about it because I don't want to. Not because I'm hiding it, or because I'm putting on a front, or because I feel the need to pretend. It's not that. I think it's
just a bit exhausting, isn't it? To talk about it all the time.
Absolutely. Like I get this is a perfect opportunity for me to bring it up, is that I get so many messages, like I'm talking thousands of messages a week from beautiful women across the globe, everywhere, that are telling me really heavy stuff. And I have mentioned multiple times, please don't think that I'm ignoring you, but I can't carry your trauma as well.
Yeah, no, you can't.
It's thank you for sharing, and I'm sorry that happened to you. Or sometimes I don't respond, and again, that's not me ignoring you, that's me probably safeguarding myself.
Self-preservation.
Absolutely.
You have to.
Yeah, because it's just life's already heavy, let alone with everything else that goes with it. So
and I guess they share with you because you feel safe to them.
Yeah.
But it is hard being, it's so beautiful, but it's also very hard being someone's safe space, because then you cop a lot.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's the trauma of people who you've never met. So,
but why are they reaching out to me as a stranger? Like, why isn't there more of this? For like, is that not what you're trying to create here?
Yeah,
like a safe space. There needs to be more of it, because, at this stage I'm getting heavy, hectic messages every week, which please don't stop doing that. That's not what I'm asking, but I want to know why you're reaching out to me and we're not, we there's no
where is
space.
the support structure
where
within
is
the health system
for
unfortunately the majority of women.
Yeah.
It is a majority.
Isn't that
and
awful?
It's horrible.
Those numbers are simply soul destroyed.
It is horrible. So, yeah, I think we all should continue to share, but I do agree with you. When you're holding your own trauma about things, it takes, it took me years to go through and kind of pull apart that process and that part of my life. And even creating this, even when the creative team would talk about, okay, well, Riss, you realize you're going to have to tell people your story. I used to sit at home and practice in the mirror about how I would start talking about that. And it took months to even get past a few words, because I just had to go through, I felt like I needed to go through all of that to break down all of the barriers so that then I could hold space for women that I wanted to create this space for. And I knew that if I didn't do that for myself, how the hell was I going to provide it for anyone else?
I just hope that you know what an amazing woman you are, because there's lots of people that can't do that. And that's magical, really.
Yeah, and it's not I don't know. I think my desire for this, don't you start.
I didn't. I
crying.
haven't. I'm not. Nothing.
Don't.
I'm not. They're just a little bit misty.
Yeah. I just got something in my eye.
Probably a shit ton of makeup, if I'm honest. But
yeah.
It's not tears, it's just my mascara.
Yeah, look, it's not everyone's journey, right? And we all experience things really differently, but my desire far outweighed anything that I felt like. And, I've probably got a bit of that that trucker woman mentality in me, just suck it up and get through
done.
this, because what you want to do is far greater than you going through this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kept me going. But I think the fact that still to this day, I have spent a decade from the moment that I yearned for this sort of space to then Googling over the years, surely someone's done this.
Yeah.
Surely someone's done this. The fact that I'm the first one in Australia to do it in this capacity still blows my mind. And I'm not blowing myself up in any, I'm just,
no, it's
an example of where
How fuck's the system?
Who's looking after us?
100%.
Who is looking after us?
Because it just because half the population do it, and we've been.
Yeah.
If one more person said to me, "We've been doing it for millions of years," that doesn't make it better.
No.
Yeah.
Finding out that we've been going through this trauma for millions of years makes it worse, not better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
I know, I hear you. Knowing what you know now, Jaz, and that dance that we talk about between, first-time mums and how much do you tell and how much do you not, what would be your advice, or what would be that soft landing for someone who's pregnant at the moment and might be listening to this story and going, holy hell,
Look, I don't know is the answer. I don't have the answers, because everyone's story is different. But I find that the space that you've created here, I can imagine so many people going, I won't need that. Or I don't think I need that.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was literally talking about it before I jumped on here. The push present?
This should be it.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is what it should be.
Yeah.
Is that bugger your car. I don't want your car. P.S. I didn't get a car, mind you. But cars.
Did you get a push present, may I ask?
I got a diamond ring a year later.
Yeah, good. I was looking at your fingers. Yeah.
But this is what it should be.
Yeah.
Because just you don't realise, as even if things don't go wrong,
I was
becoming
just
a mother,
about to say that, Jaz.
if
it doesn't
things
have
don't
to
go
be
wrong,
struggle.
That's not what it's about. It's not about if you've had a rough birth. It's about you've just given birth to a child and you need to recover.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that. And when you're at home and you're worrying about, am I breastfeeding? Have we got clean towels? What are we eating for dinner? Right? If you're thinking it's
How are you
just
meant to recover?
you don't.
No.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So then we're in this perpetual race as mothers of constantly chasing that recovery and that healing in many different ways,
Yeah.
physical, mental. So we're constantly chasing our tail after that because we have this crazy, in my opinion, trophy culture of, oh, you're back. Look at you.
Oh, look at how you bounce back.
Oh my, right? 100. Like I had someone say to me, which I will never forget, and I'm filthy still to this day, is I went back to teaching in some capacity. I stood still. I did nothing. I took an assistant with me and I was like, oi, do this, and this, and I'll stand here and point fingers and click and yell at people. It'll be great. And one of the teachers there said, what have you got an assistant for? I had a cesarean and I was back teaching 2 days later. And I was like, like, I don't, what do you want me to
If
say?
only you knew.
Well, do you know, it doesn't even.
I don't know why
who
that
says that?
slipped
says
out.
that?
But yeah, actually, who
Like,
says that?
And older women too. Oh, well, I had 6 and I was,
Oh, yeah,
Did you? Thank you for that,
And your
ma'am.
father went back to work and I did it all by myself and we didn't know. Yeah,
And
there's
look at
generational
what kind of person
stories.
that's turned you into.
Yeah.
So well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trophy culture, 100%. And I just, I feel like women should know that whether things go exactly how you plan, it's the most beautiful day and it is euphoric and you have the most beautiful love bubble and you have all of these things, to if you have my story, which is the polar opposite, that you still deserve the right to be looked after.
Absolutely.
Because what you've just done is the most incredible thing, regardless of how it, regardless of how it turned
goes.
out.
Yeah.
And that doesn't matter. The simple fact that you have given birth is
enough.
Is enough.
We are all enough.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jaz.
My pleasure.
It's been an honour and I've loved chatting with you and hearing your story. So thank you, because I know that going through that again is not something that I imagine you want to continue to talk about and relive. So I appreciate the going back for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This podcast represents the opinions of our hosts and their guest speakers. Views and opinions expressed in the podcast are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and content here should not be taken as medical or professional advice. Please consult your healthcare professional for any personal recommendations and medical care. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we are sharing is accurate based on the best available information at the time of recording, we welcome any comments, suggestions or feedback via our website contact form, home.com.au/contact. Names and details of personal experiences may have been changed to allow for anonymity and privacy. To join the conversation, join us on social media at Home Postpartum.